Hi everyone, it's Cinna and these are my books, and today is the first day of the reading rush. I am super excited for this part. Never done this before. Anyway, I noticed in my last video, my reading rush TBR, I didn't mention exactly what it was. So the reading rush was formerly known as BookTubeathon, and it's really where you read 7 books in a week. And this time, I believe there wasn't themes last time. I don't think that there were themes last year or the year before that in BookTubeathon. And so that's my little TBR, this little pile here. I did change the first one, the purple cover one, just because this one, the Secret Garden's a little bit smaller, and to get through 7 books in a week is a bit of a challenge. It is the reading rush challenge, so this is what I'm starting with. It's about lunchtime on Monday, so I'm a bit behind and have a bit of catching up to do, so wish me luck. Hi again, it's 10 p.m. now and I am on page 239. I'm nearly done, just to give a little bit of an idea. There's that. I made the mistake of going to see The Lion King with my siblings today, and now I'm behind. I might have finished it by now, but here I am going in late into the night reading. It's nothing new. Good morning, it is day 2. I did get around to finishing this last night at like 11:30, so I stayed up late. I'm committed to this, I'm very much committed, and today I am starting Eleanor Oliphant Is Completely Fine. I'm not going in order. This book is the first, an author's first book. That's the theme of this one in the reading rush. So start that one today. I don't think I'm going to finish it simply because of its size. I will not finish it today. It is over 374 pages, full length pages. I'm getting there. But it's about 385 pages, whereas this one was only 289 and it's much smaller in comparison to size. So I don't think I'm going to finish it today, which means that I just might not get around to 7 books this week. But I'm not surprised. It's a lot. Anyway, I'll see you in a bit. It is now 3:15 and on Tuesday, day 2, and I am up to page 99 of Eleanor Oliphant Is Completely Fine. She's a strange one. She's a strange character, isn't she? It's quite interesting. I'm not sure I'm enjoying it as much as everyone seems to rave about it. But I am only up to chapter 10, just to give some kind of perspective. Yeah, we'll see how the rest of the day goes. As far as it goes, it's a pretty lazy day. Nothing much else to do. So it looks like I'm going to be reading all day. So it's day 3, and I'm still on this one. I finished, I'll tell you, 311 pages yesterday, which is more than the day before that, because Secret Garden was less than that. I stayed up until about 11:30 reading this again, which is bad for my sleep cycle because I have uni next week, but this is what's happening anyway. So I'm going to try and finish this maybe this morning, if not early afternoon, and get started on the next one. Good morning, it's day 4. I just woke up and I'm going to continue with Truth Witch. I got through a fair bit yesterday, but I'm hoping to finish it today, and then that would be 3 books in 4 days, which is not what we want, but I mean, it's a lot more than what I'm used to, so. Well, I'm back. I've had a big day out shopping with a friend for uni on Monday. And I haven't read much more. That's all I've read. I don't know if I'm going to finish this tonight. I doubt it. I really do. I have to go to the gym still. I was hoping to get 7 books done and 6 at a minimum, but it was looking like it might be about 4 or 5, which makes me really sad because this is a challenge and I should have completed it, but you can't stop life. Anyway, I guess I'll keep you guys updated. Brief update. I got a new bookshelf because my sister donated it to me. Good morning. I am pretty quiet today. It's the 4th day, Friday. I'm pretty quiet because it's the morning and my siblings are still sleeping. But I just went out and I asked Mum. I finished. I finished LiQWYD last night. I loved it. It ended up being a lot better than I thought it was. It took a little bit to get through, but I'll do a review of all the books at the end of this video. But anyway, I went to Mum and I got her to pick it up between 1 and 4. She picked 3, so it's A Court of Thorns and Roses that I'll be reading next. Hey guys, so I've been... Oh. I just noticed this ring on my desk. Someone must have given it to me. Anyway, I've been out all day. It's now 5 o'clock-ish, which is really bad because I've hardly done anything on A Court of Thorns and Roses. Well, that's a bad indication. Can't even see the bookmark. Up to chapter 8, so I read that much today, which is terrible. So it looks like I might get through 5 books, because this is only my 4th. Anyway, I've got a few books, I think, here. That might not be a book, but we'll see how it goes. I just thought I'd show you guys what it is. That one's not a book. Maybe that's from Book Depository. Oh, yes. Oh, this is hefty. Look at that. This is Aurora Rising. I don't know if you remember, if you watched my TBR for The Reading Rush, but this, along with Daisy Jones and 6 was on there. Unfortunately, they didn't come in time. Daisy Jones and 6 came on the Monday, but I had already started reading... I've already forgotten Monday and it's only Friday. The Secret Garden. So there was no point in me, starting Daisy Jones and the 6, which would have been the purple cover for me. Anyway, I'm going to get on with reading A Court of Thorns and Roses because I am behind. I know. We'll see how everything else goes. Hey, so it's day 6 and I just finished my 4th book, which is A Court of Thorns and Roses, and I don't know what my expectations were at the beginning of this. I don't know where they are now. I don't know what's going on. I'm just reading a lot, and I reckon I'll finish the 5th book by the end of tomorrow. But I also have to prepare for uni the day after that, so I've got a lot going on. I got a new bookshelf, as you guys saw earlier, so I've got to deal with that, shuffle everything around. Otherwise, the rest of my weekend's pretty much off because I'm not feeling that well, meaning more time to read for me, which is fantastic. Anyway, I've got to go ask a family member to pick a number between 1 and 3. 1 is Emergency Contact, 2 is The Subtle Art of Not Giving an F, and 3 is The Outsiders. I know which one I'm going to end up reading, but they'll go pick a number and I'll read that one. So I just made myself a sandwich for lunch and thought over what I want to do next. But first, I want to mention that you can see my thoughts on this book as I read along and progressed through it. On Tumblr, it's a read along with me, which I've never done before, but it seems strangely popular. So thank you guys for all that feedback and support, and just join me reading A Court of Thorns and Roses. I enjoyed that book, and you can see that through there, through that Tumblr post, but I'll also talk about all the books that I read so far in this readathon at the end of this video. So I asked Dad, my father, get it to pick a number between 1 and 3, which, as I mentioned earlier, is a subtle art of not giving an F, and I'm a bit... I have to read it. I have to. This is the only excuse I'm going to find to actually like rush through it and force myself through it. I'm thinking about DNFing it. Probably won't. But I struggle with non-fiction books. I really do. So there's this one, and there is, I think it's on the shelf now, but in my original TBR video, I mentioned that I was going to read First We Meet the Beast Beautiful for my purple cover theme book, but yeah, that changed. I really, because they're both non-fiction, I kind of struggle. And I also want to mention that I got this book when I actually did give an F about things, and now that I don't, I'm not finding it as interesting to want to read. There's no motivation behind it besides just getting it over with. I admit I've read a little bit already, so chances of me finishing in the next day or so are pretty high. So I'm up to chapter 3, which is page 41 out of, I'm not really sure how many. Yeah, but I mean, by the time you guys see this video, I'll have all my reviews up on Goodreads if you're interested in my thoughts on each of them, but I'll also mention it at the end of this video. I think that's all for now. While I've got a little bit of time, I might read a little bit of this, and then I will get set to rearranging my bookshelves while I've got some time. Good afternoon. It is 1 o'clock on day 7, last day of the Reading Rush Challenge, and I am forcing myself to get through this book. Over halfway, it looks like, so I'm pretty happy about that, but still a long way to go. I should be able to finish it by this afternoon, so should be able to finish 5 books in 7 days. I'm not a fan of the book, I said that already, but I'm getting through it. It's got some interesting points, don't get me wrong, and some very relevant points, but not my type of book, and I've learnt that now, so I will not be getting another self-help / non-fiction book for probably a good while. Anyway, that's the news for now. So, quick little update. I've read nothing, and it's now 3 o'clock. So, I've made myself a cup of tea, and I've got some pistachios in order to try and motivate me to read some more. So, I really want to finish this today. I do. But I've got over 100 pages, which is nothing, but so hard when it's not fiction. And I'm done. I can't believe that. I'm just taking it in. I literally just finished like just now. This book was probably actually a good book to end on. I did enjoy it towards the end. A little bit more than I thought I would have. So tomorrow I'm going to review all of these books and I'll let you know what I thought of each of them, the 5 that I did end up reading, and I'll talk about the 2 I didn't end up reading, why I didn't read them. Yeah, see you tomorrow. Alright, I'm back. So, let's do this overview. Firstly, The Secret Garden. I gave this 4 out of 5 stars on Goodreads. I guess you can check out the review there. But I really enjoyed this book. It's been on my shelf for God knows how long. I really couldn't tell you. It's one of those books where I think my parents owned it before me, but it's been on my bookshelf so long that I don't know where it came from. I started reading this as a kid, didn't get very far because there was too many big words that I didn't understand. So that's that one. I really liked it because the whole time I was expecting something negative to happen, you know, someone would die or someone would get sick or something, and it didn't happen. It was completely positive, and it was all about life and connections and friendships, and I really enjoyed it for that reason. It pleasantly surprised me, and it was a very good and easy read. Good one to get into the reading rush. Yeah, I just kind of made that flow happen. Second book was Eleanor Oliphant is Completely Fine. At least I believe that was the second one I read. As I said, when I read this one, it started off with me not enjoying it. But towards the end, I actually did quite enjoy it. There's a lot of secondhand embarrassing moments in this, and I really struggle with those. I suffer real bad from secondhand embarrassment. But it was good towards the end. The problems that were presented at the beginning were not the problems at the end, and I think I liked that part of it, the twist, and I really like this reveal in there that I didn't see coming, and I thought that was a really good point to make about it. If you're interested, it's kind of about PTSD and denial of childhood events. So in that terms, I thought it was very interesting, quite a contemporary and not what I'm usually used to reading. So in that sense, it was really good. Otherwise, not what I'm used to reading. So that's why it's, I believe I gave it 3.5 stars. Now, the third book that I read was Truthwitch. Most of my books I find recommendations from Tumblr or Goodreads, and this was not one of them. I actually found this at my local Kmart, and I thought that it would be a really interesting read, and never got around to it, even though there was a fair bit of hype about it on Tumblr. But I did enjoy it. I really liked it. I really like the strong female protagonists, both Safi and Isolde. They're really good. I feel like the love interest Merrick was not really necessary for this story. It might be for the sequels, which I believe is Windwitch and Bloodwitch, but for this story I don't think it was necessary. It was a very interesting storyline nevertheless, and I really liked the world, the magic of each of the witches, and their personal powers and what they can do with their certain power, if that makes sense, without giving too much away. I would recommend this to everyone. Also, look at this cover. I really like the golden embossing. Is that the way I think that's what it's called. Anyway, I like this one. I think it was 4.5 stars out of 5 I gave it. Yeah, if you want to see the rest of my review about this, it's on Goodreads. Next, 5 stars. That's all I have to say. I really like this. I like the storyline. I like how the antagonist, that's what I was looking for, the antagonists change with good reason. I like Feyre. Great character. I find sometimes with fantasy heroines, the actions they actually take are not likely for a person in that situation to take, but her actions were very relatable and likely if put in that situation. So I like Feyre. Tamlin, I found he was pretty average, to be honest, I'm not gonna lie. In the beginning he was okay, and then he got kind of boring towards the end, but there's a good reason for that, I suppose. Rhysand. I read it as Rhysand, but I found out it was Rhysand at the very end because there's a little dictionary. Rhysand, interesting character. I know he becomes important. I've seen photos on Tumblr. Anyway, and Lucian is definitely a favourite of mine. So plot, everything, 5 stars, love it. Only negative is Tamlin's character, very average and boring, in my opinion. I'm sure some people will love him, and he's interesting, don't get me wrong. And finally, The Subtle Art of Not Giving an F. really struggled with this one, as you would have seen in my vlog aspect of this video. Non-fiction and self-help is not my type of book. I think I gave it 2.5 stars because I found it average and it's not my type of book. But that's not to say it's not yours, so pick it up if you want. I also think this could be dangerous if put into immature, I'll say immature hands, because it could be applied to life in some dangerous ways. So if you're going to pick this up, please just make sure that you're in the right frame of mind for it. So the two that I didn't get around to reading were Emergency Contact, if you can see that. Hello. There we go. And The Outsiders. I'm super excited to get onto Emergency Contact. The Outsiders is probably something that's going to be on my shelf for a little while, similar to The Secret Garden. Nevertheless, didn't get around to them. Why? Because I got my family to pick random numbers, and that's the number book that I picked up for the next day. I am disappointed I didn't get to finish the challenge of 7 out of 7 books. But I mean, 7 books in 7 days is pretty intense, and I do have a life outside of books that I had to contribute to. Anyway, I think that's the end of this video. Thank you so much for watching. All my links down below if you're interested in anything else. Give this video a like and comment down below if you're interested. And I hope you have a good day. Bye!